welcome to the second video in my free training series, Being Good with Being You. I just first want to thank you for watching and engaging with me in this journey with you. It's been so awesome to read your comments and hear some feedback from you along the way. And in the first video, I shared some tips and tricks on how to get out of judgment and start becoming the observer, which is one of the pieces to truly learning how to love and accept ourselves so that we can experience less suffering and more of what we truly desire in life. If you haven't had a chance to watch that video yet, I invite you to pause this one and go on down to the link at the bottom of this email and watch the first video and then come right on back. As a recovering perfectionist myself and someone who has spent nearly her entire life looking for ways to improve herself, I know a thing or two about what it's like to experience suffering and to not have that peaceful existence that I have so long craved for. And it wasn't until I learned the things that I am now offering to you that I could finally experience peace and ease. And I know I sometimes throw those words around and it may feel like I'm doing it haphazardly, but in all fairness and honesty, when I started learning and adopting these practices into my life, I experienced what it meant to have a peaceful existence. Life just got easier. So that happened once I got out of judgment and stopped resisting what is, which is what today's video is all about. So another piece of this puzzle of being good with being me is learning how to move from resistance to acceptance. And I can imagine many of you are saying, well, that's easier said than done. So let me offer an exercise that you can try. Think about a story or a life event that you think was bad or for some reason shouldn't have happened. For example, I could use the example of getting married because it ultimately ended in divorce. Once you've written down what that life event is, next list all of the empowering lessons you learned from that event. So to continue with the example, I could list out one lesson was learning how to really listen to and honor myself more than doing what other people thought I should do or what I thought they thought I should do. Another lesson would be to move forward with something even though I was afraid of judgment or what people might think. And that led me to another empowering lesson, which is the fear that I had of what people would think was way off from what actually happened. In other words, my imagination was worse than reality. And that is a huge lesson that I've been so grateful to have had with me over the last few years since that life event. Once we can start accepting our past stories and events, it becomes more comfortable to accept what's happening right here in this very moment. And we can do that by pausing long enough and asking this question: what empowering lessons might I learn from this? And if that's not working, we can at least start to trust that things happen for a reason. We just have proof of that now. Even those so-called bad events led to empowering lessons. So when we find ourselves feeling stuck or unwilling to trust that, go back, find another life event, and do this exercise again. And I truly believe by doing this, you will learn to trust in each moment how everything is exactly as it's supposed to be. Now, I can imagine that there are a few concerns coming up around this, and I certainly have heard of them before, and I personally experienced them. And one concern might be, so if I'm just supposed to accept everything as it is, then are you asking me to like roll over and become a doormat for people to walk all over? The answer is no. Acceptance does not beget apathy. Acceptance begets peace. And I can honestly say that I have experienced that firsthand. It was by practicing acceptance in each moment that I could act or respond from a much more grounded, centered place, and in a way that was in so much more alignment with my truth and my core desires. Eckhart Tolle reminds us of this as well. Accept, then act. Because we need to first make friends with the present moment before we can know how to respond or what to do. And I promise that as we do that more and more, we will experience life in a whole new way. It becomes friendlier and, as I said earlier, a whole lot easier. So another concern that might be popping up for some of you is, so yeah, I know all of this already. I'm already aware of what I need to be doing. So how are things like this going to help me? Well, as I said in the first video, self-awareness isn't the whole picture. I believed that for many years. I thought so long as I was aware of all of my quirks and faults and imperfections, then I could fix them. But what I've come to learn is that it's not about fixing them. It's about bringing in a new awareness, a non-judgmental awareness, and then accepting all of my quirks and imperfections just the way they are. And once I've done that, then I'm in a space to release that which no longer serves me. And that's a little sneak peek into the next video, which is going to be all about once we've gotten out of judgment and learned to accept what is, how can we let go of what no longer serves us? My intention for these videos is to reach as many people who hold on to this belief that there is something to fix, and to offer some tools and practices that can help them realize that they are good in and of themselves, and that there is nothing to fix. There's only things to accept, embrace, and then release should you choose to do so. I thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.